Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk all things reality TV or whatever. I'm your host, Pharaoh. I'm joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, how you doing?
Um, I'm still doing pretty bad, honestly. Still doing pretty bad. At this point, we here.
And that's it. So what we will be doing for you today is we will be updating you on the live feeds of Big Brother 24 this week. We will also be doing a player rating for Big Brother 24 players, unfortunately. But before we get into that, I do want to make a statement. I just want to let everybody understand where we're coming from here at the Reality Kingdom. Now, I understand that according to the events that are going on, the terrible horror events that we just drug and made a whole video about, go check it out. I understand with that in mind that a lot of people do not feel like they want to support the season at all. They do not want to support CBS or all the things that are going on with this season. They're just thinking, I'm not going to do any coverage. We're going to stop watching, etc., etc. Here at the Reality Kingdom, we feel like it is important for Black people to be speaking in spaces where other Black people are affected. The situation that's going on with Taylor right now is a Black issue, period. I and we do not feel comfortable allowing a bunch of white podcasters, non-Black podcasters, to sit throughout the season and speak on even the even the non-supportive Black people in the season. I just do not feel comfortable. We don't feel comfortable with just having white people speak on these Black issues. Diversity is a very, very big issue in the Big Brother community. And this is the reason that we made the channel in the first place, is to speak on this issue and to speak on the topics that affect it, whether they're negative or positive. If we were to stop coverage and we were to stop just talking about the situation, it's an easy way for people to sweep it under the rug. And that's why we feel like we need to bring this stuff to light. We need to literally every week talk about these people, continue to talk about the season and drag them. That's the thing. If we just let them do what they're doing, be horrible people, be in that house talking about this, talking about Taylor the way they were. If we didn't make that video about Taylor, I would not feel comfortable having this channel without addressing the wrongdoings of what diversity is for, like the wrongdoings of a Black person. Like, I can't do that. So I feel like it is a part of our duty to speak out on the diversity and to speak about the inclusion, regardless of how horrible these people are. We don't really care about these people. We don't like these people. They're bad, trash, horrible.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do feel like it's important for us to represent our community and speak out, because that's what our channel is for. So with that being said, we will
Well,
be
then also,
Mhm.
no, and then also, I wanted to say, like, there's no disrespect to any of the podcasts who did decide to stop, because I feel like I definitely understand why. I can feel like I can see how some people have just now been disconnected from the season as a whole, and we definitely respect your decision.
Period. And that's the thing. If you're Black, whatever you decide is up to you. If you decide you want to keep doing podcasts, keep watching the season with the whoop whoop. If you decide not to, that's up to you, because this is a Black issue, period. So Black people can make that decision however they want to make it. So that's it. We're going to continue to cover the season. We continue to make sure we shed light and bring light to the issues that are going on in the Big Brother community specifically. That's why we're here, period. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get into this week. So we've made a video about all of the negative issues that was going on with Taylor. Those issues might get brought up again in this video, because we are going to be discussing the season and we're going to be telling it like it is, period. So throughout the season, we are going to be doing a live feed update, updating you on very important points throughout the week. And then we are also going to be rating the players based on how they're doing in the game. And we will go ahead and leave y'all with another asterisk. When we rate these players, y'all, and I'll refresh your memory, when we rate these players, we do not like these people as
No.
humans. If you want evidence, go watch the last video. We drug, babe. We don't like them. In fact, we hate them. Me, I hate them. I'll speak for myself.
No, I do. It's weird.
Okay. In fact, we hate them. Therefore, nothing that we are saying is in accordance to how they are as a human, a person, etc. It is in accordance to the gameplay strictly within the Big Brother house. And honestly, it's not like they're doing that good anyway. So not something to worry about. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and give that disclaimer. Now, we can talk about the season. We're going to try our best. I'm going to try my best. We're going to try our best to not get attached emotionally, because a lot of the things that are going on in the house is crazy. So we're going to try to we're trying to be informative. So it's hard to be informative if we're also very emotional. So I'm gonna try to disconnect a little bit when it comes to the issues that are going on. We've already made a video addressing those issues, so I'm gonna try to take a step back and try to just tell y'all what's going on without shading. But I'm letting y'all know right now, you're gonna hear some shade. You're gonna hear a lot of shade.
Your faves will likely get dragged in the process.
So I'm just gonna start us off. Day one, night one at the premiere. The premiere of Big Brother, we got they did the competition. Daniel wins the first HOH. Monty wins. Pooch wins the backstage boss. Pooch has to put up 3 people to be eligible for eviction. However, they're not eligible for nomination, voting, or playing in the competition. Those 3 people were Brittany. Let me pull the people up, y'all, child.
Brittany, Paloma, and Alyssa.
Thank you. Boom. I was struggling. So Brittany, Paloma, and Alyssa are backstage people, and so is what's that man named Pooch? But Pooch is safe. Daniel is the HOH. So we start off the season in that manner. So basically, when we get to the feeds, immediately we see that idiot Paloma is going to be making a lot of alliances. So the first alliance she makes is with her white counterpart Alyssa. She loves white people, so keep that in mind. So Paloma and Alyssa make a final 2. No, I mean it's true. It's true. The person that Paloma could relate to the most when it comes to visual mirrors is Alyssa. Like that's just her sister in a way. So Paloma and Alyssa make a final 2, and they decide that they would like to make a power structure within the house, which strategically is smart, but in general, Paloma's dumb. So the power structure that she decided to make is a girls' alliance that isolated Taylor, but we got into that in the other video. It also isolated another person of color, Nicole. It's giving racism, but we're not going to get into that right now. So Paloma, Alyssa, Brittany, Jasmine, and Amira, and Indy. Everyone who has white in them, that is a woman, was in the 6-person alliance that was created by Paloma. She also wanted to create the Mamba Alliance. This alliance was created with the intention to make sure there was boys to help them win competitions. However, initially she stated that she does not want to go to end with the boys. She just wants to use them to win competitions. The initial alliance was going to be Paloma, Alyssa, Amira, which were the 3, I guess, most strategic girls in that 6. The 3 girls Paloma wanted in that 6 to be in the new 6, and they were going to bring in Monty, Kyle, and initially Pooch. But what had happened was Pooch was doing too much, and Paloma was doing a lot. He was doing a lot. Pooch was doing a lot, and Paloma was like, he's getting too close to Turner. Now that's important to note. Pooch was getting too close to Turner, and Paloma clocked. So Paloma said, we're going to veto Pooch out of here, and we're going to put in Michael. The reason Paloma wants Michael in the alliance is because Michael is more likely to work with the girls than the guys, in her mind, at least.
Which I thought was a really interesting decision, because up until this point, I think everyone who was kind of a fan of Michael going in was like, Michael is not doing shit. He came into preseason, he was like, I'm going to come in here and dominate and whoop, and all he's done is help trash talk Taylor, I fear. So we were kind of confused when all of a sudden, she was like, we're going to bring Michael into it. And then personally, in general, I feel like when Mamba was getting created, when they were making their six, it kind of came out of nowhere, because up until this point, it was almost like it was boys versus girls. Like, only the women would really talk to each other. Only the guys would talk to each other. And then Nicole and Taylor would speak to a lot to the guys, because the girls were basically the girls and excluded them. So I thought that was a really random decision and pretty interesting. I didn't think that it would be something that was solidified, because it's like, up until that point, I didn't even see them talk game to Michael for real.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is what makes Paloma, I feel like, a little bit savvy as a player and horrible as a person. But a part of the reason that she wanted to do this is because she recognized that a lot of the boys were vibing. And she also recognized that Michael necessarily was not a part of that vibe. She noticed that Pooch and Turner were really close. So if we're not going to have Pooch in alliance and Turner's not going to be in alliance, the only options were to be Daniel, who she did not like. Mind you, he did what she wanted. Joseph, who is very, very close to Monty and Kyle, but we'll get into that just a little bit. And Terrence, who was literally finna be nominated and is black, and she doesn't like black people. So her options were either Joseph or Michael. So Monty did mention that he would like Joseph to be in it, because Monty and Joseph are very, very close. However, Paloma was like, why would you have someone very close to you in the alliance when I could just have somebody who might be close to me in the alliance?
And because Paloma is his queen, his Latina queen, he listened and was like, okay, and was like, well, I guess I'll start making allegiances with Michael.
And that's what he had to do. So the 6-person alliance, which is kind of in the center of the house, was formed. Now, while all of this is happening in Paloma's side of the world, with the girls' alliance with 6 people, she also has this 6-person middle
Mamba.
alliance, Mamba alliance. There's also going to be a boys' side of the house forming. This was kind of mostly initiated by Pooch. So, Pooch is like kind of the male counterpart strategist at this point of the game to Paloma because he
both
basically
flops.
both flops, by the way, both flops. Both flops. So Pooch is bonding with Turner through whiteness. So they're bonding, and
Literally.
basically they have become best friends. Very similar to Paloma and Alyssa's story. Pooch saw another white man, was like, oh my God, yay. They linked up, and basically they have a final 2. So Pooch and Turner linked up, and they decided they would also basically make a boys' alliance. But what happened was there is a boys' alliance inside the boys' alliance. So Pooch and Turner went to Daniel, who was
Who's the
another weak white man. So they went to the HOH Daniel, and they made a alliance called the Motley
Crew.
Motley
Crew.
How they're gonna have to change the name anyway.
And
they made the
basically, and I was literally on feeds when this alliance was created. Basically, literally, Pooch walked upstairs and Turner, his dog, followed into the room. And 2-3 seconds into the room, they was like, let's make something happen. Let's go. Like, this is the final 3. And it was like, boom, final 3. Which we know that Daniel is not all the way loyal to because his final 2 is Nicole. They made a final 2 day 2, because they both kind of feel like they can relate to each other. So that is a situation that's happening as well. But he is also in this Motley Crew alliance. And what Farrah was going to get to is that is the guys alliance. But there's also a bigger guys alliance called the Oasis, which is Monty, Joseph, Kyle, Pooch, Turner, and Daniel. Mm-hmm. But Monty Kyle is nowhere loyal to that. Period. Nowhere near loyal to it. And I don't think Daniel really is either, but he a pussy ass bitch and is gonna go with whatever.
And I do want to say, in very much so similar fashion to Paloma, the Boys Alliance also excludes the one gay man and the one black man, similar to the Girls Alliance excluding the one gay woman and the one black woman. Very interesting dynamics, but that's how it just shapes up.
Ooh. The only man of color is the tap dancer. Let that be known. Joseph, but he's also a tap dancer.
Yeah, they're all are. So that's how the structure of the house is setting up, and that's kind of the most solidified situation. Another thing, which you already mentioned, was the Nicole and Daniel thing. That's very important because they do have a final 2. Brittany also has a final 2 with Michael. That I feel like will continue on. Her final 2 with Turner that's gone. Because she did have a final 2 with Turner, but we can go ahead and like very much so dismiss that a little bit because Turner has linked up into Pooch's Pooch and he's locked in there, babe. He's not leaving. So another important thing is basically the Brittany-Michael connection. Michael is in the 6-person Mamba alliance. However, he has not told Brittany about this alliance, but he has given Brittany information that is helpful for her game because Michael wants to bring Brittany as far as possible. The way this ends up shaping up is that even though, so first of all, Daniel as the HOH, he decides to nominate Michael and Terrence. This is basically because he is weak. So after they are nominated, Michael wins the power of veto, and Daniel decides to nominate Taylor because he's racist. So the final nominees are Taylor and Terrence, and Michael has been vetoed. Since Michael has been vetoed, Michael has basically assumed one of the most powerful positions in the game because he was added to this 6-person alliance, and he has Brittany feeding him information outside of that. So Brittany has informed Michael that basically the girls are working together.
Yeah.
She has basically gave him that information. Michael has also received a lot of information from within the alliance. Amira has locked up, another strategic player, has locked up and linked up with Michael within that alliance because basically she's like, the 2 boys are together, the 2 girls are together, me and you need to link up. Michael has also developed a relationship with Kyle, who is also in the alliance. So Michael has kind of started to center himself, and I feel like that's something important that we can note. Or whatever.
And then something else really important to note, I feel like since you mentioned Amira, since now Paloma did kind of build the I will say main structure of the house. She did build Mamba, and she kind of is the best setup because she is in the middle of the 6 Girls Alliance and the 6 Mamba. However, that position is starting to crumble a bit, as her sanity is as well. So, I guess that racism is really eating her up. So, which love to see it. So basically, as she's starting to fall, I feel like Amira as a player is definitely starting to rise because she has a 3 with Alyssa and Paloma. Michael and Pooch and Turner have talked about targeting her, but they're also working closely with her. Daniel and Nicole like her as well. And like Sarah mentioned, she also has locked in this thing with Kyle. She has a final 2 with Jasmine. There is a final 4 core of the 6 Girls Alliance that Jasmine's included in. So Amira is all over this place,
She
which is
also has
also going to get into
a strong relationship with Monty, and also Pooch has been giving her information that she did not ask for. So she has a lot of things. She has a lot of things coming her way. It does seem like Amira is one of the best positioned. Now, honestly, other than Amira being really well positioned, Michael being really well positioned, we know Paloma is. We discussed the other things going on. No one else really has alliances to note. Those are basically the main things going on in the house at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. There is. I will say, Turner and Pooch are trying to form a foursome with Paloma and Alyssa.
That's not really going anywhere
But
though.
that's not going anywhere. So there are people trying.
And then
That's what I'll
you
say.
have Daniel and Nicole trying to create a 6 person, but they have expressed they're doing this very loosely and very late into the week. With they are works. They definitely want Pooch and Turner, but they have not approached either one of them. And they wanted Amira, and they've approached Amira, but Amira herself is confused because they haven't approached her since, and it's been like 2 days. So that's something to note. It's probably not going to go anywhere because, I mean, babe, the week is over and he's out of power.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that's something to note. That's what and from what I'm thinking, Daniel and Nicole think this 6 is confirmed in their head.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anyone else in that 6. Well, it's not even a 6 because they only
no
got
one
5.
else in the situation is aware of this at all. So yeah, everything else to be noted we'll get into with the player ratings, which honestly we can just hop into because unless you have anything else you want to say about what's going on.
No, we can just hop into it.
Sounds good. Yay. And hop up on it.
Push it up.
Come on. And now I'm just okay. So let's go and let's go ahead and hop into these motherfucking player ratings or whatever, y'all. Now, we're just going to go through each player. I'm going to give them a rating 1 through 10. We do use 0.5 systems, so I can give them a 1.5 if I would like. Zeros are allowed. I just want to let y'all know. And Lee will go ahead and also give his rating for that player. Let's go ahead and start with Alyssa. Now, this is how I feel about Alyssa. Oh, first of all, before we get into the player rating, I do want to drag everybody a little bit first. So, first of all, with Alyssa, this girl, she claims recently on the feed, she has claimed she feels so bad about the things she did to Taylor, and she just feels like that they should definitely reconsider. It's giving production talk to her. And actually, we got confirmation from Variety, the fucking blog page, that they spoke to production, and production told Variety that they spoke to the house guests about their microaggressions. So after they spoke to Alyssa and told her white ass that she was acting crazy,
Acting up.
Alyssa started walking around the house saying, "Oh, I just feel so bad." Mind you, a few days ago when they created the Girls Alliance that was based around literally hating a woman, Alyssa sat there and she was literally kiki and cuckoo and talking about how much they hate Taylor and how Taylor's not a girl's girl, and it was weird. So I just want to let y'all know that first. We don't like her. However, and also to preface this, when we give them the rating, it has nothing to do with them as a human. They're horrible humans. It would be a
They're
0
horrible humans.
other than Taylor. So, but when it comes to the game, I do honestly, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. If I had to pick a winner pick,
Alyssa?
girl, let me get into it. I wouldn't be mad at saying Alyssa. Let me tell you why. This is what I think she's doing. I think she wanted to position herself and then shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down, which is the opposite of what Paloma did, which is the opposite of what Pooch did. And look where they're getting in trouble. They're getting caught. Even Amira's getting a little, not yet, but people have spoke about Amira might have to go. Somebody said something. Oh, she's gonna get aggressive when she has weirdos. Anyways, so it's like honestly, I do feel like I don't know if it's just particularly this cast, but this is the season she's on, and on this season, Alyssa laying low and not being seen or heard, but also being in one of the best positions technically, it really puts her good because she's in the same position, similar position as Paloma and Amira, but everyone knows Paloma and Amira are eating them up. They see Alyssa and they just think, oh, Alyssa, I forgot she was here. So I do think Alyssa is aware that she's in this position because she was active in wanting to be in an alliance with Paloma, and they talked about it together about making this bigger alliance. So I do think she put in work, and I think she's in a great position, one of the best. And she's not necessarily she's not being targeted at all. Not even being talked about being targeted later. She's just there. Every other person in this house damn near has been talked about being targeted other than her. And I want to say what Kyle. So honestly, I don't have a problem giving her a higher rating this week because I do think she put in the work. I think she's in a good position. I think she has a ABC sense, enough sense to get her to the end, I think. So I'm gonna give Alyssa it's still early, it's week 1, so I'm not gonna go crazy, but I will give her a 6.5.
I don't know. I feel like I just didn't get that sense from Melissa. I got pretty much follow her. I do feel like she kind of just followed what Paloma wanted to do. She gives me like she does have an ABC sense, but in the fact that she knows how to keep herself safe, which I don't think is necessarily something, it's only going to work for so long. Like you mentioned, like they don't know Alyssa's there. Like she's not someone that's threatening. Like, yeah, Amira is being targeted. Yeah, Paloma is potentially being targeted. But if they can get to the end of that game, they can win. If Alyssa gets there at this point, she ain't gonna get no votes. Now this is week 1, and I do think there is a lot of improvement. I do think the girls this season is just better strategically in general. I think it's definitely just growing as the years go by because I feel like most of them are really, really playing hard. And Alyssa is one of the ones kind of in the backseat. But I see your point, how, maybe if they get cut, then she can kind of move through. But I feel like so far, I'm not seeing her take advantage of any of her allies. Her closest ally is Paloma, but she hasn't really branched out and solidified anything on her own. She has a connection with Kyle, but hasn't solidified anything else. She's not closer to any of the girls than each other. She's only close to Paloma. Like, that is really her closest ally. And Paloma is literally going crazy. So I don't really know how far she can go. And let's be honest, if she's nominated, it's going to be next to Paloma. And I don't think there's a 90% chance that Paloma wins the veto or talks her way out of that position. Alyssa is not. I don't think she's as safe as it may seem. But it's week 1. It can go either way. I think I'm going to give it a 5 because I think she has potential to grow. But right now, I'm not seeing much.
All right. Before I ask you about Amira, I just want to say, other than being horrible, Amira is horrible. Let me give you some quotes. So, this is one of the quotes of the day from Amira. She's talking to Monty and Jasmine, who are allegedly supposed to be black. This is what she says about Taylor. Her mom is probably pissed about the way she's been acting, referencing 0 acts that Taylor has done. So, I just want to let y'all know she's a horrible person. So, Lee, how you feel about Amira?
I feel like, other than being a terrible person, she's doing pretty. I think she's doing pretty well in the game for this first week at least. I feel like at first when Paloma was the forefront and she was enacting all of her strategy, I feel like Amira was definitely an add-on. Earlier in the game, I want to say like day 2. Initially, Paloma and Alyssa wanted to bring Jasmine into Mamba. They were not considering Amira at first. But Amira put in that work and proved that she was someone to be taken seriously out of strategic force in the game. She's one of the first people to go talk to Daniel because that's the thing. Daniel was HOH, but since he's a pussy-ass bitch, he was not having any power. So no one actually cared to make an alliance with them. As we have explained, there's a whole majority alliance, and we didn't mention Daniel's name at all. So Amira, being someone who wanted to make sure she was safe, she spoke to him, and she was one of the main people who pushed, try to get out a big target, try to get out someone. Basically, one of the guys in the have-not room, because there were 4 boys at the beginning of the week that volunteered to be a have-not. That was Michael, Monty, Kyle, and Joseph. So she went up there to the HOH and she was like, "Look, the girls got your back." She came up there speaking for the girls got your back. If you put up one of them have-not boys, you good to go. Now, Daniel, who said in his preseason interviews, that he wanted to target the big guys, was like, "Well, I'm not targeting Monty, Kyle, and Joseph because I'm not
targeting a big guy."
So
even though I said it.
So because he didn't want to do that, he pulled an excuse out of thin air about Michael being some super fan and how he just had to target him because he's a super fan. That's so scary. So that was work that basically Amira kind of put in because she guided him in that direction.
Mhm.
Now that Paloma is falling, like we mentioned, she has a close relationship with Monty. She has a relationship with Pooch. She has a relationship with Michael. She has the girl Six, and she also has Mamba. She is being talked about as being targeted, but that's from Pooch and Turner, who have zero power in this game. People fact check with Amira. A situation this week. Brittany, for some crazy ass reason, told Pooch, who is targeting Amira, that
Mhm.
she was targeting Pooch because Amira told Brittany because Amira told the Girls Alliance. Pooch literally did not believe her, went straight to Amira and told her this tea. So the girls fact check with Amira. I think she has the potential of going really, really far. My only thing is I don't know because I did feel like when Paloma was had her sanity, she was able to take she pushed her own agenda and it worked. I have not seen Amira pushing too many agendas because in that situation she didn't want Michael up. She wanted Joseph Collar Amonte up.
Mhm.
So she hasn't really gotten everything she's wanted, but a lot of things are falling in her lap. I'm optimistic to see where she goes with it, but I think she has a good potential. I'm gonna give her a 7.
Alrighty. I feel very similar to how you feel. I think a lot of what you said makes a lot of sense. I'm impressed by Amir strategically in the game because, like you said, she's done so much good work. I do think the fact that she has so many good connections is very impressive because like Daniel doesn't love that's the thing. The difference between Paloma and Amira is that people like know they like Paloma. People like Amira, but they don't know how much they like Amira because people will tell her so many things but they don't necessarily talk about her in a positive way. But she still
Mm-hmm.
has a final two with Jasmine. She has a very strong bond with Monty. She has a final two created with Michael. She has a final three with Paloma and Alyssa. She's also been being invited into these other groups. When Daniel and Nicole are talking about other groups, they always do mention Amira. And Amira was the first person they told about that group that was not going to be made. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which means that Amira has a lot of sides to her game. She has a lot of outs. She has a lot of directions to go that not everyone in this house does have. And I do think that's because of some of the work that she did put in. She put in work to have strategic conversations with Daniel. She put in work to make a relationship with Nicole. She put in work to make a final two with Jasmine. She put in work to get in with Paloma and Alyssa. So I really think she put in a lot of good work and it got her into one of the best positions in the house. Even if Pooch tried, Pooch can nominate Amira against almost anybody in this house, and I think Amira would still say even
Likely.
at this point against Paloma because the boys have kind of been like that girl can go. So it's like honestly, you can't even get Amira out if you wanted to, and if you're in that type of position, I do commend it. So I'm gonna give Amira a 7.5. Um, period. Brittany. Now, I'm not gonna say her too much. She told Taylor the tea. Basically, Brittany told Taylor how everybody was randomly bullying her and how that was a charge led by Paloma. Brittany did sit there and enable it the entire time, and we drug her into our last video for that. But I guess that's sweet that she told her. We move.
Right.
Anyways, Brittany game wise, I think she has a strategic mind. I do think having a strategic mind is something that I look for. However, if you are not good at the strategy, then it's going to not be good for your game. Brittany did put in good work the beginning of this week because and this is the thing, it sucks with Brittany, in my opinion, because in a season where Daniel's not an idiot and a dumbass bitch, she could have succeeded very well because Brittany's plan was to create a majority alliance with the first HOH Daniel. She approached Daniel after creating a final two with Turner and the final two with Michael, solidifying or almost solidifying them as a three. She immediately was going to try to approach Daniel and Nicole and make a six-person alliance with those people in that group, which would have put her at the center of that alliance and also would have propelled her to do very well in the game because Daniel's the first HOH. Daniel is weird. So
Mm-hmm.
when she approached him and damn near begged him, I think she put in very good work. I was watching her talk to him and I was saying she needs to push harder. I feel like she needs to push harder. This is very important for her game to have this work. And she pushed hard as fuck. And she did it in, I feel, an eloquent way strategically when she was talking to Daniel. She did not, I don't know. I felt like it was a good push. But Daniel saw nothing in her because Daniel is misogynistic. So he wants to work with the boys, and that's it. So he did not see any value in Brittany as a player. So unfortunately, that did not work. But I do think that was a lot of good work. And had that did work, which it would have if it wasn't a misogynist, weak ass man as an HOH, it probably would have worked. And that's the thing. If that works, she will be in a good place, regardless of the mistakes she's made. But it didn't. So we're in the world where it didn't. In the world where it didn't, she's now in a horrible place because she has made a mistake. She went and told Pooch, like Lee said, she told Pooch some shit about Amira because she got frantic and scared. If you get frantic and scared and you start making mistakes, that's not good for Big Brother Buki. She got scared because she felt like because she's a backstage passer, which is also a dumb twist. Honestly, what do you mean we're up for eviction, but we're not? So honestly, she got fucked by a dumb
Random.
twist too, because this dumbass twist would make me scared too. Like you're told you can get evicted, but you're not even nominated and you don't find out until eviction night. That's kind of unfair. So she has been very much so paranoid, way more paranoid than she would have been in a normal situation. So it's kind of like I feel for her in a lot of ways. The Daniel thing was crazy. The twist is crazy. I feel like without those, she would be a better player at the moment, but she's not. So because of the mistakes she's made, even though she's strategic, and I do think she can kind of get out of this because Amira's mad at her, but Amira is not pushing too hard for Brittany to go. She's mad and she's pushing a little bit, and the target is landing a little bit on Brittany and Indy. For next week, a lot of people do want to nominate her and Indy, and she could go home easily next week, which sucks. But I feel like a lot of it is circumstance. I'm gonna just give Brittany 4. At least she played the game. There's bitches here who didn't do shit, and they will get a 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel like what sucks with Brittany is because I feel like she has definitely good strategic game sense. Like what you mentioned, it was all good strategy, and she spoke about the strategy preseason. And I was remember thinking like, it's good if you can do it, but like, can you enact it? And this is someone she came in and she was enacting it, but the issue is, Big Brother's a social game, and if people don't like you and respect you socially, they're not going to want to work with you. One of the main reasons why Daniel did not want to work with her is because he thought of her of this like basically annoying little girl. Like that's kind of how he spoke about her, which was very disrespectful and very misogynistic, like as mentioned. But that's just how it is. Michael was telling Kyle, because Michael actually does respect and want to work with Brittany. But Michael was telling Kyle, like, I trust Brittany. Would you mind working with her a little bit? Like floating the idea. He was basically like, well, I don't think she can win competitions for us, basically. It's like even Michael has mentioned, like, he will definitely drop this girl if he needs to. And that's what sucks because like that's a hurdle that she could never have gotten over. That's just who she is, sociably. Like that's her as a person. So it does suck. I do feel like she made a big mistake because lucky she was in the 6-person alliance because she was being used as a pawn, but that was a useful spot you could have been in. She definitely tried to give up way too much information, way too quick. Like, might not understand that he's the backstage boss, but it's like you're literally trying to work around a twist that you don't even know is the case. She's literally finna get saved by America, most likely. And she doesn't even know. So she went out her way to do this when she was literally going to get saved by America. It's like, Brittany, baby, no. I'm going to give my sister a 3 because the way this house is shaping up, it's giving, Daniel had a very, very weak HOH. And right now, the power structure is basically the majority of the house. And until someone wants to make a move, which I do think there are some players in here who will make a move if they get the opportunity, I feel like it's still way too easy to be like, well, Brittany's up, Brittany can go home. And I'm not confident that she can win HOH veto. I hope so, but it gotta be a 3. Because I don't think, personally, I don't think she can work her way out of this. If she stays in it, she's going to be this pawn or this, it's gonna take a lot for her to get out of this hole.
I have hope that she can win a comp, and I also just like her. The reason I gave her a 4 is because I like her relationship with Michael. I feel like Michael's in one of the best positions in the house, and I feel like her being attached to him helps at least a little. And I also like the work she put in with like Indy. I feel like that was really good work. I just feel like she puts in so much good work for me to like want to give her a little bit of point. But honestly, I see exactly what you're saying for her. Next, here go this rat Daniel. He's just horrible in every single way, y'all. Here he go. I'm aware of how bad it looks with 2 black people on the block at the end of my HOH. After I nom Taylor, if things get bad, Big Brother will step in. It's easy to ostracize her after she's nominated. These are quotes, babe. We move. What you think of Daniel?
Other than being a rat-faced, weak pussy bitch. I mean, I think this was terrible. This was just a terrible HOH, point blank period. A very bad HOH. This man did not create a majority alliance. He has no real allies other than Nicole. He's getting out a person that was willing to work with him. 2 people who were willing to work with him, actually. because he was too scared to go after the guys. The guys are gonna come for him. It's just like I said, this has just been a terrible, terrible week. He spent all week damn near in the HOH. He will only speak to people if they came talk to him, mainly. And when he will go downstairs, he wasn't making any real connections with anybody at all. Like, while this majority alliance was being created, there were talks of them not trusting him and wanting to get him out the very next week. They didn't start trying to create a majority alliance until the day before the renom. And nothing has been solidified even after Taylor has been renominated. He has no secured safety going into next week. The only reason why he may be good is because Pooch is making himself a bigger target, and Brittany and Indy are nice, easy pickings right now. But Daniel is definitely high up on that list. He is definitely going to be targeted soon. I mean, it's like this has just been like wow, like the social unawareness is insane. They literally agreed, him and Nicole, that we're gonna keep Taylor even if the house dislikes her because it's smart for our game. Why would you do their dirty work? And after literally the whole house came told him one thing, he was like, well, I'm doing their dirty work, and now she has to go because of these racist and very microaggressive reasons. It's weird. It's just so weird. I think he's very weak-minded. I think he's a terrible human being. I think he looks like a rat, and I think he needs to get his teeth cleaned. It's a 3.
Why the teeth? Damn, that's crazy. I'm gonna give him a 1. I feel like this was terrible, and it's weird because I was the one who was like, still like, oh, maybe it's okay, it's okay. And by the end of the week, it was absolutely terrible. The reason it's a 1 is because even though he's in like not the target position for the next week, that's the bare minimum for the first HOH. You're the first HOH, and all you are is not the first target, but the fourth. That's horrible, terrible, trash gameplay. He has no real ally other than Nicole. And Nicole is so damn fickle. The way she flipped on Taylor, she might flip on this man. So honestly, you have one of the least reliable allies in the house because Taylor and Nicole were very close and she flipped on her. So you have the least reliable ally in the house and you have nobody else after that. Pooch and Turner are the only people who might check for you, but honestly, might not. And they're getting nominated next week, if not you. So even if Daniel doesn't go, it's a high chance that his only other ally other than Nicole will go. And that's horrible. And that's the next week after you won the first HOH in the Big Brother season. This is the HOH that sets the entire standard of the entire season. And you did horribly. This is trash. The reason he's a 1 is because it's the first HOH. How easy it is for the first HOH to set themselves up with the first one and how bad he's set up. It's a 1. Like, you did nothing. Also, he's a horrible person. Now, the rating isn't because he's a horrible person, but on top of him being horrible at the game, he's also a horrible person. And I just wanted to say that. That's it for me, boo. He's a 1. Next, Indy. Honestly, she hasn't been too bad, but she's been enabling as per.
Indy for the main part really. I mean, I think she's generally there on Big Brother Brazil. She's here to play up to the feasters. She's here to play up for the cameras. The girl know nothing about the game. Point blank period. She should not have been casted. I like this is an example of people who should not be in this game because this is someone who knows nothing about what they're doing and is enabling the behavior. Point blank period. That's a negative. But Indy as a player, I feel like I see her in the same position as Alyssa. Honestly, slightly better, but I think Indy has a little bit less game sense. But I don't know. It's picking up here and there. There was a conversation this week. She goes up to Joseph because she knows Joseph and Monty are close. She likes Joseph. She likes Monty. She likes Terrence. She's telling Joseph, hey, I'm more of a guy's girl. I will work with you. I will basically do whatever the fuck you want. Keep me. I will work with you. The girls all trust. Like, look, the girls. It was weird because they trusted her at the beginning. They started feeling iffy about her, and now they're kind of back good with her because of the Brittany situation. Since Brittany has concern flipped on them, they kind of need to bring Indy in a bit more to secure their numbers. You know what I mean? So she kind of is in a better position because of that. However, she still is someone that's seen as easy pickings because she doesn't know much about the game. She's not having real game conversations with 8 people. When she is speaking game, it is working. Joseph, he kind of was protecting her in other conversations, telling Pooch, like, well, maybe Indy does not have to go and things like that. And likely, if she is next to Brittany, she will stay. And I don't really see her going home after that. You know what I mean? I feel like she could easily just be the Victoria of the season and end up getting final 3 very easily. And no, that's the thing. She probably won't even be Victoria because she probably can win comps. So I don't know. I do think she has potential in this game. Winner, I don't know. This season is so weird. Honestly, I think any of these people can win. It should have been Taylor, but any of these people could win. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4.
Right. I'm a little lower on Indy. I do feel like it's likely that she could go home next week if the
Mm-hmm.
wrong things happen. A lot of the girls did start hating her until Brittany slipped up. So it took a Brittany slip up for her to get in a better position, which isn't work that she necessarily did. She did do good work with Joseph, which was very interesting. And that did make her it showed that she was here to play the game, that she wasn't just going to sit here and do nothing, which it kind of seemed like she was at first. She is here to play the game and she is going to do something, which was having that conversation with Joseph, which I do feel like was interesting. She also has had good conversations with the girls. When it does come to strategy talk, she's able to at least provide something. And she is in the girls' alliance, and they do want to keep the girls' numbers safe. They've had a lot of discussions about how the girls need to stick together. She has a good relationship with Brittany, which is very good for her game. So she does have qualities to her game that are there that are worth it. The only thing about it is that she could go home next week, which is very scary. A Brittany HOH would be good for her because Brittany's not taking her out. Even if one of the girls wins, she's probably not. She might not get taken out because the girls probably are
They're not
gonna.
gonna use her. I mean, Paloma
Yeah,
was mentioning pawns, so Paloma might, but I don't think any of the girls are gonna put up their own numbers.
so I'm gonna give her a 3.5, and that's it. this
This jealous hating ass.
Jasmine, I feel honestly, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Socially, although I hate her, I feel
Yeah,
like in the game, people do like her just socially. It's
yeah.
like she's a very good social player. Also, she does have a final two with a mirror that she did a lot of work in creating that. The conversation went Jasmine driving the conversation. She's like, we gotta watch that Paloma girl. This was before Paloma went crazy. So this was just when Paloma was in a good position. Jasmine clocked. She said we have to watch Paloma. Paloma's in a great position. I noticed that Paloma had a lot of influence on Daniel because in my conversation with Daniel, Paloma was mentioned as someone that he basically wanted to follow. So Jasmine did clock that, and she did create an alliance with Amir. She also has a good bond with like Monty, which is really good. Within the girls' alliance, she's not. She's the I feel the safest in that girls' alliance structure. Just the six of them. I do feel like Jasmine's one of the safest because Brittany is targeting Amir and Paloma. Amir and Paloma, Brittany. Jasmine's good in that girl situation. Everybody is good with her. So that's good. But other than that, she doesn't have anything else to work with because she only
Mhm.
has that girls' alliance, which is bad. No one values her, I feel, because even Paloma didn't invite her into the Mamba. She was like, maybe not Jasmine, we'll take a mirror. And I think that's not good for her game at all. I feel like she's not seen as a respectable player,
Mhm.
similar to Brittany. So that's gonna be hard for her to even get the win if she does get it to the end. I do feel like I can just see a random week where Jasmine just goes. Um, and honestly, that's the path I kind of see. But I like that she does have sense of things, and I like that she's in a decent position, but she's not in a good position, and she
Mhm.
doesn't have enough sense. So I'm gonna give her a 4.5.
Yeah, I feel like other than Jasmine definitely being very, very, very jealous of Taylor in every sense of the word. One of the main people kind of keeping up the jealousy hate
Mhm.
for Taylor in the house. A very, very nasty human being on the inside, and some would say out. But I feel like game wise, she definitely isn't doing that bad. I feel like what's interesting about Jasmine's position is that she isn't, I feel like, respected as some of the other players because she's not getting brought into alliances, but she's not being mentioned as a pawn. The girls want to bring her to the end. Monty has a good relationship to her. Pooch, she's building a relationship with him. She has a relationship with Terrence. She has a relationship with Daniel and Nicole. I think Jasmine has a lot of people who will not put her up for a while. It's just, can she get that respect? Can she win competitions towards the end that's going to get her that respect? If she do win those competitions, is she going to piss people off that didn't want to target her? And with her not having any allies, if that happens, then she'll be really fucked. What I do like about her as a player, definitely not as a person, she's very perceptive. I think a lot of the girls this season are very perceptive. The way they are noticing every move that I feel like the other players, like the guys, Pooch, Turner, Daniel, Nicole, like they're picking up on things quick. Like Sarah mentioned how she's like, well, Paloma, everyone loves Paloma. Everyone, when I have a conversation with them, they just keep mentioning Paloma. And it's like, I'm in my head like, why are people not noticing this? And boom, Jasmine clocked into Amira. Now, it's interesting because we don't even know if Amira is that loyal to Jasmine because Amira has a final three with the girls as well. She hasn't told either about either. So who really knows if she even has that ally? But I do feel like at this point she is really good. When anyone's talking about targets, Jasmine is one of the few names who hasn't come up, and I don't think it will for a while. I do think that if anything, she'll be a final two GOAT. So I'm gonna give her a 5.
I like that. All right, we have Kyle. What Kyle say? Hold on, y'all. I got a quote.
I know he's enabled a lot of it, and he's also used the phrases aggressive and scary.
He said, in reference of Taylor being nominated, he says she's going to lose it. In agreement with Monty, Monty says, "Oh, Monty, no. Pooch says Monty reminds him so much of Xavier. I just feel like they're exactly alike. Kyle is like 1000%. They're the same black man. Just a little
Oh my
hint.
god.
Problematic. Other than that, honestly, I see a lot of parallels in this. I would love this house structure if they weren't terrible, horrible, trash, dirt scum people, because I see so many parallels in the structure. It's so satisfying, in my opinion, because the way I feel about Alyssa, I feel similarly to Kyle, except Kyle has more options. I feel like Kyle has a little bit more privilege. I feel like people want to work with Kyle more because he's a man. If Alyssa was a man and Kyle was a woman, I feel like they would have the reverse of what's happening. People
100%.
approach Kyle. Kyle doesn't approach people. He doesn't do shit like Alyssa kind of does. But people will approach him for alliances. So I do feel like it puts Kyle in a better position. Kyle is a part of Mamba. He also is a part of the Boys Alliance. He has very good relationships, and no one really wants to target him. Him and Monty have a very close relationship with him, and a lot of the boys are very good with him.
Mm-hmm.
Michael approached Kyle about working together within that alliance, and Kyle kind of developed a bond with Michael that is becoming stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Pooch and him even.
Pooch and him are even really close. They're really close.
They have a
and
final too.
Who else? They have a final too?
Yeah, the Blue Eye Bash Bro, something like that.
They do. Okay, he also has a final food with Pooch, and he's developing a relationship with someone who's a woman. Who is it? Recently, he started developing another bond. Do you know who it is? Kyle just had a. Can I think of it? Anyway,
I don't have a relationship with Alyssa.
Maybe it's Alyssa. Okay, him and Alyssa do have a good relationship, and Kyle also started having another strategic relationship. It doesn't matter. So Kyle has a lot of options. Kyle and Indy are cool. So Kyle has a lot of options, and he has a lot of where to go. However, the strategic sense does not seem to necessarily be there. He's really good at talking to people when they come to him, and he's good at collaboration and collaborating and agreeing and being agreeable. However, when it comes to him going out of his way to make something happen or to enact a strategy, we haven't seen it yet. But honestly, when it comes to winner picks, him and Alyssa, the way they're playing the game, I feel like is smart because no one's going to target Kyle. They'll target Monty before him, Pooch before him, Turner before him, Daniel before him. Paloma's going to go before him. A lot of people at this point are going to be a target before Kyle. And if Kyle can end up winning those in-game comps, how usually men can, Kyle could end up at the final too, and he could end up winning. I think Kyle has a really good path, but he hasn't necessarily put in work, and I'm not sure how much his awareness is there. This could be biased, but I do feel like Alyssa has an awareness, but I just feel like I do kind of feel like that because she's a woman, and I feel like Kyle does it because he's a man. So I kind of don't want to say that, and I don't want to use that in my rating. But it doesn't necessarily seem like Kyle is being active. But I am going to give him the same rating. I'm gonna give him the same rating as Alyssa. I'm gonna give it 6.1.
And see, I definitely agree with what you're saying. But the reason why, in my mind, I separate it from Alyssa is because what you mentioned. Like, I know for a fact that if Alyssa gets into the game, next to Kyle, she will 100% lose because for some reason, the woman just never gets that respect. Who knows? Because there is some diversity, I guess, in this cast. It may have a different outcome. You know, the women have mentioned they want a woman winner. So if the women can get it together after Taylor going home and not go out, which is kind of likely, then maybe they can make that happen. But I do know that Kyle, because I mean this is a microcosm of America, Kyle is just an attractive young white male. He's gonna do well. People want to approach him, like you mentioned. He's gonna go far. And at the end of the day, even if he isn't thinking about shit up there, if he gets in that final two, he could likely win if he's sitting next to the right person, which is definitely unfortunate. But hey, that is literally a life in America, sadly. I do feel like it reminds me a lot of Gino and BB Can 10. I do feel like he's not that dumb, but it's like I can't give him a high rating because I don't think enough of it is there. I'm seeing like the conversation he had with Michael was very interesting because it shows that he is thinking on a more strategic level outside of just these basic options because he didn't have to reach out and make that final two kind of with Michael. He does have that final two with Pooch that he hasn't even told Monty or any of the Mambas about. I think he's keeping his option open, but is that because they're all approaching him and he's just saying yes, or is that because he's actually put in that work? I don't know. So I think for him, I want to give him a 6, mainly for position alone. But I'm going to be looking for if he's actively staying in this position. If not, I'm going to bring him down. I don't care if he wins. He's going to be a 5 or a 4 for me.
Period. How do you feel about girl? Nothing up there. How do you feel about this?
So
wait 1 second.
Yeah, get him
real quick.
Because after being one of the few people who actually had a relationship with Taylor, this weak-minded ass flipped on her because his bros said so.
This is what he said about Taylor. If anyone pawned me or put me on the block, y'all think Taylor's scary. I'm so much worse. Why is Taylor scary? He said Amira will blow up on me when she gets nominated. Why will Amira blow up on me? What's indicated?
He's like, and this is why stop casting people who are not fans of the game. Why is he even here? And backtrack. Why is Kyle here? Why is Indy here? These are not fans. Amira literally. Why did they went out of their way to call this colorist?
Yeah.
Stop casting people who are not fans. Joseph does not know what the fuck is going on. This man held a conversation saying, "I want to change the meaning of Big Brother." Like, I don't think that we all have to be mean. This is how he talked. I don't think that we all have to be mean to each other, It's not all about the money. It's not all about... It's a 1. It's a 1. He doesn't even know what game he's playing. He shouldn't fucking be here. He's taking up a fucking spot. Why is he the replacement? I don't understand that. Why was he even an understudy?
Because he has muscles and he's a person.
Like, that's stupid. Why are you... Stop casting people based off looks. There's nothing going on up there. It's sad. Like, at first I was like, "Oh, I'm about to see a man all season." No, he's just an ignorant dumbass that's gonna follow every boy because they're his bros. His agenda is get out the girls because he's a dummy. Next.
It's a 1, I fear. Next. A real player. Now, Michael started off very slow. I did not like his start at all. He was not being socially accepted very well at all. But Paloma kind of opened the game up for him. Very nothing. She opened the game for him. So now he has options. So Michael has a final two with Brittany that he wants to try to bring along as much as possible. He's now in Mamba. He has created relationships within Mamba with Amira and Kyle, which is very, very good for his game. He is being considered about being invited into the Boys Alliance, which is very interesting because that will also be good for his game. Pooch and somebody else has spoken about that recently. So if that does go through, he will have a lot of connections because the girls want to use him, the boys want to use him, and he's in the main alliance of the 6 people. I don't think people will necessarily target him after that. The only person he has a vendetta against is Daniel, and Daniel is stupid, ugly, and dumb. So it doesn't really matter. Also, Michael, I feel, other than his position being great, I just feel like he has a winnerness to him, a winner energy, and it just seems like he can be the winner. I feel like people would not mind voting him as a winner at all already. So I do think if he can get past, he can definitely get to jury with his position as it is now. If he can like pick up the strategy just a bit and really just win comps and make it to the end, he can easily win this game. So even despite the fact that he was nominated this week, he was nominated by the weakest HOH in Big Brother history, so it did not affect his position in the house whatsoever, which is crazy. So honestly, I'm going to give Michael It's such a new position, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared. I'm gonna give him a
Definitely.
7 for now, just because it's newer. We haven't seen enough
Exactly.
of him. It came within the past couple of days, like 2
Yeah.
days, literally. So I'm gonna give him a 7, and we'll see next week.
I think I feel the same about that. I'm gonna give him a 6. I don't want to give him that full 7 or higher because I just feel like Michael, who is also not innocent, because it's interesting because he did this thing that's very Andy esque, and I do feel like he kind of fits the Andy archetype.
Mhm.
Because everyone in the house is trashing Taylor, guess who's trashing Taylor? Pussy bitch ass Michael. So I just wanted to bring that up. He's definitely
Period.
not. He's definitely not left out. He's a complacent, weak ass bitch. But maybe that's going to be his strategy to rap for the strategy. It'll be interesting. I love that strategy. Andy also did it in a very problematic season, so it may work. I do think that, like Farrell mentioned, he's going to need to step it up a bit because the position is very new. And I don't feel like he is really strengthening the connections he has. Brittany, I mean, he might as well just, I mean, he has a good bond, but I mean, that's not going to help him nowhere, really.
Mhm.
He just built that relationship with Amira. He needs to build it a little bit more. He needs to work with Kyle a little bit more. He needs to build on Monty. He needs to work on Paloma, I feel like, a bit more. I think of Alyssa is someone he can work on to get a little bit more. It's a few more people he needs to get. But, he's definitely working. He had a good conversation with Terrence today about basically protecting kind of the outcast, Brittany, Daniel,
Mhm.
Nicole. Daniel, for some reason, doesn't think he's in that position, so he's probably never going to be able to resolve that issue with Daniel because Daniel is crazy. But in general, he's someone that people are not basically saying they're going to target. Unless Daniel can win week 3 HOH, if he's still here, hopefully let's not, then he's not going to be on the block, I feel like, until jury. He's someone, because he's a super fan, one of the only few on the cast this season for some strange reason. I think he's going to be able to really utilize the things he has and grow with them. Because now that, at first, no one was talking to him, no one was including him in anything. And now everything is just in his lap.
Mhm.
So that's really good for him. It reminds me kind of like DX last season. It's kind of like when you kind of go in there and you have to win that first veto. It shows people that okay, he's someone that can win competitions and we can be used. And if that's the case, I feel like DX without a cookout structure, he can definitely win this game. And he's one of the least terrible people here. So I would hope he does. So yeah, I'm
Why
a
do they
6 for
have them
now.
lie about their fucking fan status? Anyways, what do you think of Kunti? First of all, Kunti was also a part of the conversation that Amir will blow up when she's evicted. He was also part of the conversation of Taylor blowing up. We drug him.
He also called her
Um,
an aggressive black woman, saying she perpetuating every black stereotype. Monty is a coon.
mhm, very horrible. This is what Daniel said to Michael. He said, "Having Monty's support and vulnerability really helped me want to support the action of getting a black woman Taylor nominated.
Mhm.
Having the support of this black man encouraged me, this white straight man, to nominate a black woman and be microaggressive to her and lock her out and ostracize her and make the whole house turn against
And
her
Monty continuously reassures him, tap
continuously.
dancing ass. I know his.
Um,
I wonder if his feet hurt from all this tap dancing. Like honestly,
got to. When it comes to the game, I don't think Monty's that good of a player either, honestly, because getting out Taylor was not that good of a move at all, and he really influenced that. He's very
two
fickle,
people that could have easily been his closest allies, he allowed to be nominated
which
because
is very
he
successful.
had a lot of influence in this situation. Daniel liked Monty a lot.
Mhm. So one thing about Monty is people like him. Taylor did want to tell him information. A lot of people wants to tell him information and they like him, but he is losing his position. I feel so easily. He's letting people kind of target Pooch a little bit, which I don't think is good for him. He's letting people target Indy, which is really not good for him either. A lot of the people who could be numbers for him are going to be targets because he's allowing it. Indy, Pooch, Turner, who's also someone who's in one of
Terrence.
his life. Terrence and Taylor are Taylor's going home. Terrence is a target. A lot of the people who could help him in this game are being targeted, and he's kind of allowing it because he's not that good of a player, in my opinion. A lot of the things he do is based on kind of just who he likes. He did a lot for Paloma. Now he's starting to not like Paloma, so I do feel like that's like kind of an awakening for his game, a way for him to actually play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I
Did
do
you
feel like
mention he now wants to solidify more with the guys because of Paloma acting?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't mention it, but he does. He does want to. Now he wants to. He's a part of the person who wanted to bring Michael in. Him and Pooch discussed bringing Michael in because of Paloma's being crazy. So that is, I feel like, kind of a positive for him.
Mm-hmm.
However, he has been discussed as being someone who needs to be looked out for. someone who might be nominated as a pawn next week against another black man because unfortunately for him, he is black. So he might likely get nominated. So anyways, he is not the safest, but he's also still in a good position from being in the six, what the fuck, the Mamba, and also being in the Boys Alliance. He is in a good position. A lot of people do like him. Indy wants to work with him. Some of the girls want to work with him. He has a great relationship with Amira. But I still think he's in a good position. I'll give him a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 6.
Yeah. I feel like I'm also gonna settle at a 6 for Monty just because it's what my issue with him is that similar to Kyle in a way, which is why I'm giving them both 6s here, is that I feel like he is not taking control of the connections he has. I'm confident that he's more strategically capable than Kyle. I feel like he definitely is, but he's definitely not putting in that work. Like Terrence did not, even with Terrence being up, you could have controlled that Renan very easily, but you allowed someone over a misunderstanding that you misinterpreted because he's crazy, for another ally to go home. Like he's like 6'4". He's a big dude. Like they're going to want to target him. He is a living, walking target. Like so, he like Sarah mentioned, he's allowing a lot of allies to go, but he's connected very socially at this time. I do feel like he is someone who could win competitions to really solidify the numbers that he has. Now. And also, I do feel like he's someone that could potentially win the season. I definitely don't hope he does because he is a coon and he does not deserve it. But at this moment, I do think it's definitely going to be a 6. I feel like Monty needs to be. I don't think the position he's in is not going to last for too long. He's going to have to make a switch to where he's in a lead position, or actively making things happen, because at this point it's like he's letting a lot of other people dictate what's happening in the game, and that's not going to help him in the long haul, because even looking in Mamba, it's like everyone has something else going on but him. Really, what does he has going on? I guess the guys thing, but he has ratted out the whole guys alliance, the name of it and all, to Amira and Paloma, so basically all the girls know about that. It's like he has no other option that's not known or with someone that's already connected to somebody else, which is not good.
That's true. I kind of forgot about that. Nicole.
Ugh.
What'd she say, girl?
Nicole is a dummy. Is also very weak.
You're a dummy.
People who was like, I don't understand. Like the story doesn't even make any sense. But if you guys are saying it, I don't want you guys to be uncomfortable. Child.
Similar to Monty, but way worse.
Mind you, this is supposed to be a police officer. She had training in investigative research.
No, she didn't.
Well, they don't
do that. They don't do that. Similar to Monty, but way worse. She's allowing 2 of the people who would have worked with her to be nominated, and she's best friends with the HOH. This is terrible. What's wrong with you? The nominees are the 2 people you bonded with immediately and were the closest to coming into the house, and you're best friends with Daniel, and you let him nominate those 2 people. You're a horrible player, babe. Yeah. Alongside with Daniel, she had a lot of control with this HOH in making a structure, and she did not do that at all. She's not well connected at all. People are okay with Nicole, but people are not working with Nicole. No one wants to work with Nicole and Daniel because they're both horrible trash players. So no one really wants to work with them genuinely. They want to try to form things, and they don't even want to solidify the things that they're trying to form. So nothing's going to be solidified. Nicole can easily end up getting nominated with Daniel if the wrong person wins HOH, or 2 weeks from now after they get out Pooch, or after they get out Brittany. Nicole and Daniel could easily nominate it, and if Daniel goes home, that's her one and only ally. And if she goes home, she's out. So I don't think she's doing good at all, honestly. The only thing about her is that people kind of like her and people are okay with working with her, but there's already a structure created with her not nowhere in it. She's not in the Girls Alliance. She's not in the Boys Alliance. She's not in the Mamba Alliance. There's like what, 3 people not in the structure? Terrence, her, and Daniel.
And Daniel and her had the most power this week.
Terrence, her, and Daniel are the only 3 people nowhere in the structure. So they're going to get the lowest scores. I'm going to give her a 1.5.
Ooh. Yeah, no, it's like Nicole, like to really deep dive into how socially unaware Nicole and Daniel are as a twosome. They think they're a thong that no one knows about, the whole entire house knows about. You know why? Because they go and sit and talk in HOH for hours while everyone else is outside. And they have the dumbest
They don't
strategic
even do nothing.
conversations
Yeah.
because even though Nicole is always downstairs, she doesn't know shit. She didn't know Taylor was disliked. She didn't know all the rumors were being spread. They don't know anything. So when they're upstairs talking, they're like, well, I trust this person and I want to do this, and well, let's not solidify anything
And
yet. Let's
no
not.
one else is playing but us. We're in the best alliance. We're in the best position in the house. Huh?
They don't even have an alliance.
You don't even have a position.
And they're over here thinking, well, I don't think anyone's really just talking game. Da, 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 da. Mind you, Nicole is downstairs with them all the time, and she doesn't like,
They're
bro,
the
slow.
only two not in the structure. That's weird. You suck.
Like, fuck. My thing is with Nicole is that Nicole's a very interesting player, and I think a lot of players would be like this if they were in different positions. Because I feel like Nicole is someone, if she wasn't attached to Daniel slop ass, like if the first HOH was someone who was strategically capable and they did the same exact thing, wanted Nicole to be their final two, I do think Nicole would be on a higher level as a player. But since she already started with Daniel, even if Daniel goes home and she's freed up to do something else, we all know the flop she is at the end of the day. I don't know how far she can come from this because she's so strategically and socially behind. I don't know how she can catch up. The good thing is she is likable. Even I think when the full house turns against them, they're definitely going to keep her over him unless he wins veto, which is possible because he is pretty good at competitions. We've seen one comp, but he won it. Shit. So
We won part one and part two. So technically,
yeah.
we won two parts.
So I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a higher chance for Nicole in this game than there is for Daniel. So I don't want to go that low.
She's higher than him, 1.5.
I'm gonna give her a 3 as well. I gave him a 3. I'm gonna give him a 3 as well.
You shouldn't have gave him a 3. Sweet of you. Palolo, other than being a horrible dumb, I almost said the word. Other than being a bad person, Paloma, she set up the structure. The structure was set up because of Paloma, and that was very good work. However, she is off her meds. So she's that's not confirmed.
Well, that's not confirmed.
She's literally a horrible person and insane. So I don't care what I say about her. She's really bad and she's going crazy in the house. And she needs to be removed from the house because it's becoming scary for the viewers and for the people in the house. A lot of people have had discussions about how she is insane and she's literally crazy and that she is not okay. This girl woke up today and she's like, yeah, we're in a dream. We should all just, I don't know.
She says it every day. It's like, we're exception. We should all, like, eat crackers so we can make sure we're not in session. One day she's going to say, let's all cut ourselves so we can, like, no.
It's getting bad. Like, it's getting really bad. Like, it's getting really bad. And it's just giving, like, please take her out of the game.
She has played 80 days in like honestly like 5 days. It's crazy. Like I will say, like honestly, Paloma's strategy at the beginning of this game, I was prepared to come in here and get one of the highest scores because it was pretty decent at first. I think she 100% wanted to copy the master plan, Tiffany Mitchell, and the cookout strategy. She wanted to build a 6-person alliance, secret 6-person alliance, Mamba, which she has successfully done. She wanted to center herself in an alliance with another 6-person alliance, which is the Girls Alliance, which she has also successfully done. She has put herself in the position. It's just now she's going crazy. People aren't respecting her as much. People are noticing that she's rambling. She's giving a lot of information. We can't have a serious conversation with her. She's talking to a lot of people. People are noticing that a lot of people like her. But because she's someone who put in all of this work already, she's still in a pretty good position. I don't see her going home. If she ends up getting nominated because the backstage pass twist this week, I don't think she goes home. That's not confirmed, but it's a good chance she just does not. And when it comes to nominations, there are way more people who are targets ahead of her, unless she just talks herself into a bigger target, which is very possible. Like, honestly, I feel like it would have been a 7 or a 7.5, but because she's been digressing so much these past few days, I'm gonna do a 6. I'm gonna do a 6 because I don't think she's down and out yet. Because, like I said, she's put herself in such a great position already. Michael and Nicole love her. The girls are not going to nominate her based on an alliance. Mamba is not going to nominate her based on an alliance. You know what I mean? The guys, Pooch and them are wary of her, and they may put her up, but they have only mentioned Brittany and Indy so far. So it's like, so far, people are concerned, but no one is talking like we're nominating her and targeting Paloma. So I think you got to give her 10s for that, and that alone, because she is a very terrible person. And
I agree.
See.
And I'm gonna give her a 6, and I'm not gonna talk too much else about her because who cares? Pooch, another horrible person. What he say? He said some crazy shit.
He said a lot. He was one of the main people who keep calling her aggressive, keep saying she's gonna blow
Mm-hmm.
up. Oh, what he say? The only reason why I didn't pick her for the backstage boss is because I knew she was gonna make a scene. This
Mm-hmm.
bitch saw her for like 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. He said if it doesn't happen now, people are going to be very scared to put Taylor on the block. For that week, she might make people uncomfortable in a way because she is strong in her opinion. So, other than being a horrible person, like we said, Pooch. Honestly, it's kind of a similar path as Paloma because he started off kind of okay. He kind of positioned himself in the two alliances, similar, and then he went crazy, and people was like,
But
that's
I will say, Pooch never like Paloma.
she
She was
never
doing
reached that
good.
level.
She
Yeah,
was never in a good level because when Mamba was created, she took the boys away from him. Now, at first, when it was boys v
she's not
girls
even
and
in
the
Mamba
boys were
actually.
starting her six, and they were, and then he was doing his thing with the guys. He had the HOH on his side. They kind of were both going to come together to create Mamba, but then she took his guys away, taking Kyle and Monty and bringing them in. Really kind of ruined Pooch now because she
Mm-hmm.
is, like we said, regressing. Monty and Kyle, they're getting more wary of Paloma. They
Mm-hmm.
may ditch with Pooch just because he's more stable at this moment, but people still don't trust him at the end of the day. Mira
Mm-hmm.
is talking about targeting him, and I do think she has the power to get people in her alliance to also target them. Michael and Brittany have talked about targeting Pooch because similar to Daniel, I don't think he thinks people he thinks he's doing all these things in secret. No, everyone knows about his alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
I
knows
think
about his silent with Turner. Everyone knows what he does because he kind of walks around and just talks to everyone and tells people everything.
yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. Scratch what I just said because even if Monty decides to flip, Amira and them already know about the alliance. They're gonna know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he really doesn't have many outs either, and he doesn't know anything about it either. So, and that's really bad. However, I do think similar to Paloma in this way, he is putting a lot of work to where I do think he is safe with enough people to where if a few of these people get HOH, he's not going to go up regardless. I think if any male wins, he's not going to go up. It takes a specific set of people for him to go up. I feel like next week,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the week after. But for example, if Amir clutch it, he can get a back door. I mean, you never know. So I think I'm gonna do 5 for Pooch because I don't know, it could go either way. Either he's going to continue to crash and burn, or I do see a potential rise for him.
Yeah, I agree with the rise. I do think it's possible that he can rise because the boys are gravitating back towards him after Paloma has gone crazy. I think Paloma's gonna go down more. I think she's gonna continue on this kind of spiral. Or even if she doesn't, if she keeps it to where she's at right now, her staying like this over time, people are gonna get even more and more annoyed. Because even from day one, she was always erratic. So the fact that she's now being seen as erratic, she's just gonna continue the
This
same
is day
path,
5.
and the way she talks to people has never been necessarily respectful. She'll talk to them, she'll be like, "Yeah, I run this game and I'm gonna win the game, and you guys are just here. I might split the money with you though. But anyways, let's just make sure that we are a military base." Oh my god, it's Inception. Oh my god, we're literally in a dream, y'all. And I just can't believe that we're in a dream. Oh, this is your sweater is so nice.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god, where'd you Oh, your sweater is so nice. Oh my god, y'all, I haven't slept in like literally 3 days. When I was in Mexico and they were talking to me in Mexico, they were saying that honestly, they just felt like the rule book. Y'all, I was looking at the rule book the other day.
I would be scared.
Like it's scary. It's just gonna continue to be scary, and they're gonna go down. So that's why I kind of want to go high on Pooch because Pooch and Paloma's games are tethered together. It's like they're tethered. If Pooch goes down, Paloma might go up. If Paloma goes up, Pooch's gonna go down because they're kind of just on the exact opposite extremes of the game. In a way, Paloma's way more invested. But if Paloma loses her people, Pooch kind of gains those people. For some reason, they're kind of just connected. Well, it's because of Monty and Kyle. Monty and Kyle are very pivotal people in this game. And Paloma had Monty and Kyle, but she's losing them. And if she loses them, they're gonna go to Pooch because they're followers. So they need someone to lead them. And if Paloma's not leading them, Pooch is gonna lead them. So I do feel like there's a hope for him. However, he's still in a bad position, like Lee said, and he's still not safe. All he has is the boys think he's not in Mamba. He got vetoed out of that. He lost his 2 guys. They know about the boys alliance now. They know he's close to Turner. They know he's close to Daniel. They know his whole entire game is just laid out in front of them. So unless something drastic happens, then I don't know. But he could win the next HOH and eat the girls up, and then it's over for the girls. So
Yeah. Him
he
or
has
Turner,
potential.
his bottom boy. So
Him or his bottom boy. I'm gonna give it 4.5 though. Next is the Queen Taylor.
Mother.
Shout out to Taylor, y'all. She is going through it. Honestly, it's very hard to depict Taylor's game because she has not given
A game to play.
yeah. However, from what I've seen very good work. First of all, I think she did put in good work with like Terrence. She put in good work with Monty. He just didn't want the work. She put in good work with a lot of the boys because even Daniel and Nicole had a very, very good relationship with her. She had a good relationship with Michael. And she had a good relationship with Brittany. There were a lot of people who she did have a relationship with that was good, and these people were willing to put in work to help her. When Brittany did talk to Daniel, she put in a good word for Taylor. When Michael did talk to the cameras and talk to people, he wanted to put in a good word for Taylor. Nicole tried to save Taylor. She had a lot of people actually on her side, and that's a testament to her social game. Now that she's nominated, she put in a lot of great work in flipping the narrative that was given to her. Now the narrative in the house is that Taylor probably didn't do nothing,
But
but
we
it's
don't
too
care because we
late.
still hate her.
Yeah, but it's too late, and we still hate her, and she's still black. So it's like, according to what she's done, which is kind of what we got to base it off of. I think she's done perfectly fine.
I
The
do
only
too.
issue is that people just hate her. I feel like I'm just gonna give her a 5 and just leave it at the average slate, and because we didn't really have much to see, and I'm just leave it there.
I agree, and I'm not going to give her a bad score based off stuff that had nothing to do with her. So
Period. There is no bad score to give. The fuck.
yeah.
Um,
I agree with everything you said. The work we have seen has been good. I'm not going to give her a bad score over a miscommunication, over jealousy in day one, night one,
hour
that she
one,
had no control over,
minute one. It's weird
and a
because
face card and complexion that she can't control that people are just mad about. I'm not giving her a bad score because of it. Kiss
it's
my ass.
it's so weird now that we've gotten here because we literally can't even say anything about her game. The
Like,
way they treated her. Like it's crazy thinking about it. We've had so much shit to say about everybody else, but with her, there's nothing to even say because they played in her face and they isolated her ASAP. It's so weird. I can't even say shit. Anyway, speaking of no game, Terrence ass is on the block and at risk of going home. Next week, he's being targeted by Paloma and he's been being pushed as a pawn or a target. Actually, he's being pushed as a target because alongside being black, he has no game. He is one of the only people not in the structure at all, along with Daniel Nicole. He's trying to put in work to kind of link up Daniel Nicole, Michael, and Brittany, which is a good idea. But he has no way of doing that, especially at this moment. So that sucks for him. If the right person wins HOH, he could be safe. The right person would have to be literally himself. He could be safe. But other than that, he's not in a good position at all. He's being targeted. He will be a pawn. And even if he gets it into the game, I don't necessarily see a path for him to win. I don't see him
and he a
making it
coon.
to jury. And he's a coon. Forgot about that. Actually, I didn't. I just wasn't talking about it right now. So other than that, I just don't think he's in a good position. He doesn't have a lot of wiggle room to even like scratch his way up, and I'm not confident in the fact that he's going to be able to do that. So I'll just go ahead and give him a 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that 3. I do think he has connections here and there. Like, I don't think Amira, Jasmine, Monte, I don't think they're gonna put him up. Honestly, I think the guys um, are not gonna put him up because they're more focused on getting out some of the girls. People are kind of feeling bad for him. Like, one of the reasons why he's not going home, on top of them just hating Taylor so much, is because they didn't want to see an older guy go home first. Like, they did feel like they were making connections with Terrence. He deserved to go, but Paloma is someone that's pushing him to go next. He will likely just be used as a pawn or a silent 2 goat. So I just gotta have to leave it at 3 for him as well. Not much to him, and he's a coon. So
Period. Last and least, is Turner. Turner, other than look like a rat. Oh, let me see what he said. I love this drag session before we get into it. I need to get more quotes.
a lot of the same shit is Pooch. Whatever Pooch said, he said because he's Pooch's bottom bitch.
This is the most aggressive shit. I get looked dead in the face by Taylor, and she's like, "You're always on your bullshit." Y'all know the context. The context was he had a diss in the sink. Taylor saw the diss. He was like, "Girl, you got a diss in the sink." He was like, "Yeah, I'm always on my bullshit." And Taylor was like, "You always on your bullshit." And he said, "This is the most aggressive shit I've ever heard." Was it aggressive or was she black?
I mean, we do know Turner always says the N word on a daily basis.
Confirmed.
We know. Confirmed by his sister. I mean, he very clearly hates black people. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
And black people hate him. I know that's right. Okay, so Turner, other than us not like him, people in the game don't really like him that much either. He's being talked about being nominated by a lot of people. Contrary to Pooch, his master, he does not have actual friends. I feel in the house, people don't necessarily value him in any way. I do think that even though Pooch might be the target if they're known, people might settle on Turner, or Pooch might get vetoed, or people just might be like, maybe it could be Turner because Turner's not good for anyone's game necessarily. He does have a bond with Daniel, which is the Motley Crew alliance with him, Pooch, and Daniel. So that's positive. Nicole and Daniel want to give him in this non-existent alliance. So that's not positive because it doesn't exist. Um, Turner had a relationship with Brittany that got lost in translation because he's up Pooch's ass. Other than that, he doesn't really have much. He has a relationship with Alyssa. And that relationship is built around the fact that he wants to make an alliance with Alyssa, but Alyssa's not going to do that because Paloma is not going to do that, and Paloma runs Alyssa.
Wow.
So Turner doesn't have many ways to go. He's a part of the structure because he's in the 6-person Oasis Alliance and he's in Motley Crue. However, he's at the bottom of the structure. Him and Daniel are at the booty hole bottom of that structure because the 6-person Oasis Alliance isn't really solidified. Now that Monty and Kyle kind of want to get closer to the boys again, it's not through Turner. It's more through Joseph and Pooch, who they actually like. They don't like Turner and Daniel. Turner and Daniel want to be cool kids so bad, and all they will ever be is ugly. So that sucks. So when it comes to the rating, I don't see a lot of promise in his game
Mm-mm.
because there's nothing that can happen. I will say he is active. He tried to make an alliance with Alyssa. He is sucking Pooch's dick every day. So those things make him somewhat active. He's doing something, but he doesn't have a lot of light, I feel, in the game. I'll give him a 3.5.
Mhm. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put him up there with Pooch in the same level as Pooch. I'm gonna put him at a 5, only because I feel like if he's nominated next to Pooch and Pooch goes, or if Pooch just goes before him and he's kind of lost that connection with Pooch, I do think Turner could get in a position to where he could be seen as someone that people want to use or bring in a bit. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
do think that he is just not out from this whole Pooch situation, because I think a benefit of him not having any connections is that people over time may still want to connect with him, and I don't think that I think he has a good strategic sense. You know, he wanted to make the he wanted to create that Final Four with Alyssa and Paloma. You know, he was brought into the final three with Motley Crue with Kyle and Daniel, and he was kind of pushing a lot of that as well. And then also he is in the guys thing, which is going to protect him to some extent for a while. My only issue with him is that he isn't branching out past that. But like I said, I think if Pooch were to go, which is kind of his master right now, he will be, you know, kind of catapulted in a different position, which I think could place him pretty far. I see like a McCray run for him, honestly. You know how McCray kind of just sat there and didn't do anything, got ran by his woman Amanda. He gonna get ran by his man Pooch. And the thing is, if McCray wasn't an idiot, he could have won to be 15. So maybe
Mhm.
Turner it won't be an idiot. Maybe he will use veto on the mirror when we need him to. He
Mhm.
not, you know, who knows? So I think for right now, it's a 5.
I see. All right. I put them in order from the greatest rating to the least rating. I'll read it out because clearly some people listen to our podcast and don't watch us, which is so fun. Love y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and read out the placements. We put them in order for one who has the highest rating to 16 who has the lowest. I'll start at 16, read them off, and tell you the average that they got according to these ratings. It's interesting visually. I'll talk about it at the end, but it's interesting. So Joseph is last. He got a 1. His average is a 1. Very on brand, makes sense. What you think, Lee?
Agreed.
Period. Daniel is 15th. He has a 2 as an average. Very on brand, makes sense. What you think?
Agree.
Nicole, she has a 2.25 average. She is 14th. Very on brand, makes sense. Boom. Terrence, he has a 3 average. He is 13th place. Now, it's interesting because these are all the people who are not really in the structure. Technically, Daniel is, because technically Daniel is in the boys thing, but that's not. So literally everybody else that we named is not really in this structure because the boys thing isn't really real. And then there's the girls thing, and then there's the six, and everybody else is in the girls thing go to six. Basically. Brittany, who is in the girls thing, she got a 3.5. She is 12th place. Indy is 11th on the rating. She got a 3.75. Turner is 10th on the rating. He got a 4.25. Pooch is 9th on the ratings. It's not. Yes, Pooch is 9th on the rating. He got a 4.75 average, tied with Jasmine, who also got a 4.75. So Jasmine and Pooch are tied at kind of 9th, 8th. Taylor, she got that average 5. She's at 7th place. And then the top 6. Now it's interesting because the top 6 is literally the Mamba Alliance.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, especially visually, and it makes sense because
I didn't even peep that. Wow, until you said that, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's interesting because it's like the Mama Alliance, minus Taylor because she's getting out because of unforeseen circumstances.
And then it's Jasmine who's going to be their 7th. They've been in talk about Jasmine being their 7th, which is very interesting.
And then you got Pooch and Turner who are all Andy who are all kind of connected to the structure. So the thing is, though, I mean, depending on where Kyle and Monty goes, I do think this could really shuffle out differently. I think it's pretty accurate.
It is. So the top 6, it got Alyssa at 6 with a 5.75 average. I think that makes sense. Paloma and Monty are tied at 5th and 4th, both with a 6. I think that kind of makes sense too. Then the top 3 is Kyle at 3rd with a 6.25 average. Michael at 2nd with a 6.5 average. And we have Amira as the top player this week at a 7.25 average. I think it all makes sense. Honestly, we have the main alliance at the front. We have the 3 people in that alliance who I feel like are either the most strategic or have the most allies or aren't being targeted. And then, we just go down from there. I think it makes a lot of sense. We kind of ate it up, I fear. Period. That was that, y'all. That was a good long one. This was our first one of the season, so it was a little bit longer. We had to go through every single player. No one has gotten eliminated yet. But there you go. That was our player rating. Join us next week. We will be talking again about the live feed update for next week. We will be discussing each player and giving them a rating. And we will be dragging each player and telling you a quote of what the fuck they said because they're horrible people. So that's that on that or whatever. We're done. We out.
Peace.